All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Coaching Corner with Shadow and Shinigami, brought to you by Tampa Esports. My name is Shadow, and that guy.
I would be Shinigami from here.
From there. All right.
Yeah.
Well, today we actually have three different matchups that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking from a Diamond Protoss perspective, a Gold Zerg perspective, and I think Bobby is Diamond Terran now. So we should have some higher level games for you guys to look at today.
All right. And are we doing a set focus, or is just pretty much survival the key word of today?
Well, we're gonna look at. There was one guy who cannon rushed, and we're gonna take a look at that.
Awesome.
But yeah, right. Since we have enough replays to fill, an hour and a half, 2 hours, I figured we'd just go ahead and go into replays because that's what, the people who send us replays, they get priority.
There you go.
All right. So
send the word out on Facebook to all of your followers, your StarCraft faithful friends out there to help boost the stream up, as we will do the same. So all of you watching out there in TV land, throw it up on Facebook and everything. We're gonna get started here as Rob loads in, or Shadow loads in, and let's grow the viewing audience and grow the Tampa Esports name.
Indeed.
So that it will last throughout the ages.
Now, unfortunately, I cannot get into Twitch chat, so when you guys type messages, Jared's going to have to read them to me, and then I'm going to have to process from there. Alright, the first replay we're going to look at this is from Moose, and the email he sent me, he said he's having trouble with Mutalisk, especially when he tries to go Immortal Sentry.
I'm guessing I should leave this game then, and you can invite me in.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should watch it together.
But it would help.
I mean, you can watch whatever you want, I mean.
Yeah, I'm watching the replay and I'm like, oh, look at that. You're like, that was like 10 seconds ago. Oh, damn.
Alright. Let's see. We have Moose versus Mentange.
On Belshir Vestige, as my dogs are going crazy. I'm trying to mute my mic on and off instead of just leaving it open.
While this is loading, how's the sound, Billy? Besides the dogs.
Oh no, I muted my mic. I got my my quick button here on my my headset.
Say what? Jared's a little too loud? Alright, we can do that.
That might just be because of the dogs right now. Yeah, I can understand why he would have that problem, though. Mutalisks, I mean, playing from a Zerg perspective, Mutalisks just always, I always manage to just harass the crap out of somebody going, Stalker Immortal. Obviously, Immortals can't shoot up, so that's a hindrance.
Yeah. Alright, so let's +2 this here.
Sounds good. Alright, going for Forge first, looks like.
Well, if you're going to be doing Immortal Sentry, yeah, you better be going Forge first.
Now, what's the reason for that you better be going Forge first? Is it because you need that one upgrade?
You need the early upgrades, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, the Zerg will just overwhelm you.
It's just more powerful that way.
Yeah.
Okay, good. He early scouted. He sees no early pool, so he doesn't have to worry about cannoning up or anything like that.
Yep. And there's the pool going down, so he's going pool first. So, which is good for Zerg when he sees that early probe. It prevents any cannon craziness and helps you get that your natural a lot quicker, because if he does throw a pylon down there to block your natural, you can. And there goes the quick, which is also pretty standard versus a Forge first Protoss.
Yep. And generally, as Protoss, let's see if he scouted it. You're going to want to confirm that Zerg did in fact put the third hatch down.
Yes. Now, what's a good reaction for that as a Protoss when that third hatch goes down? Do you want to try and expand and keep up with them on expansions?
Well, yeah, you know the Nexus is safe and you're good to go. If you don't see it, then you need to start cannoning up and preparing for like a rush bust or something of that nature.
And should his next move be into a third base or into just...
Should Protoss's next move be a third base? No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not.
Wants to try and find some way to take down that third, then, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very risky to take an early third against Zerg.
Yeah, once that link speed gets going, they can really just kind of be anywhere at one time.
Yeah, they can harass the hell out of you. Now, Zerg, where did he put his gas? So he put him in his natural. Alright.
Yep.
Speed just started for Zerg. Now, I want to point something out that normally in an Immortal Sentry all-in, you're planning on pushing out around 9 minutes. And
so he's got a minute to go and no robotics facilities is what you're saying.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Immortal Sentry is a timing push. You're not planning on hitting at 15 minutes with Immortal Sentry. That's just going to lose horribly. He's going to have higher tech units and just crush you. You're trying to get in there before the Muta switch happens or before Hydras are out in any significant number. And there's basically just roaches and links to defend.
So, at what time should he be throwing down that second robotics facility and just pumping out Immortals?
No. You only use one robo when you do Immortal Sentry.
Okay.
You have to chrono boost them immediately. You immediately chrono them out.
So skip on that observer, use that probe to try and scout that third base.
Well,
and
it depends. Oftentimes people will get a warp prism first and go run around their base while they're getting the Immortals, or do it in the opposite direction, opposite order. Now this is what I'm worried about right here. He's taking his third, which means even though he's decided to go Immortal Sentry, he's trying to be economically greedy.
And here comes a economically greedy nightmare.
Alright, let's see how he handles this. Now, unfortunately, because his Zealots are squashed in here with his sentries, all he can really do is what he's doing right here.
Yeah, and it looks like the force fields kind of block the Zealots more than they block
They are
the
blocking the
Zerglings.
Zealots, and this is critical here. You see how he's losing all his sentries?
Yeah, all that energy investment.
Normally, I would say the game would be over at this point, but I watched this replay in advance, so the Zerg player is actually going to make a few mistakes himself. It's going to give Protoss a chance to get back into the game. But normally, if you lose 4 out of your first 5 initial sentries, and you're doing Immortal Sentry, you might as well just GG.
Okay. Yeah, when that Zerg, when those Zerglings come in, what you want to do is, instead of trying to block them off like you did, is get that barrier arc behind your sentries, so that the Zealots are the ones doing the pounding, and the sentries are safe with their energy. And then if Zerglings do break through the Zealots, then you can throw a force field in front of your sentries to protect them. But you don't want to block off your Zealots like that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to block off your Zealots. Another thing here is you'll notice the positioning of the gateways here. You want to get another pylon right here so that Zerg can't come in later on and pick away at this cannon.
Game resumed.
Which we will do. Because we're assholes.
Well, as you should,
Sorry.
rightfully.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so at this point, let's take a look at the economy right now.
Okay.
Alright, so Protoss has got a decent number of probes. Generally, you can have 50 probes around the 9-minute mark, but this is not a bad number of probes.
51.
Yeah. And
then Zerg's 66.
And Zerg is, got proper number of drones.
Game resumed.
Okay. Basic goal is the Zerg is to get that 3 bases worth of workers, pretty much.
Yeah, and now that he knows that Protoss is on a third, he's going to go ahead and take the fourth.
Because he's not feeling threatened at all.
He's not, because the push never came, or he shut it down when he killed the sentries.
Mm-hmm. Some probes out there, the observer at the front. Overlords at the back haven't been tickled away yet by any tickle beams. That would be nice to tickle them out of your vein.
Tickle beams.
That's what they are, they're the tickle beams.
I know, people call them that, but they're actually not bad DPS.
Oh, on the run by. The single file line between the cannon.
Yeah, let's see.
A run by nonetheless.
What is Zerg attacking?
Zealots right now.
Yeah.
So the Warband saved it. It was a dangerous run by. It could have gone bad.
But Zerg didn't handle it quite as well as he could have. But he is coming in as a third at the same time.
I mean, if Zerg was doing it right, he probably could have focused down on building.
Yeah.
Photon overcharge at the natural. The thirds.
Yeah, this is not very efficient here. And not too many probes were lost, so that wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
Good units lost. It's not that big a deal.
what was it, 9? Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, he's still at 46 harvesters. I'm sure he'll be back up to 51 plus soon.
Well, actually, he's not making. He's gearing up for another attack.
And there's the Mutalisks.
And this is why you want a Mortal Sentry to hit much earlier, because you need to damage Zerg before this comes out.
Yeah, Zerg's been stockpiling gas most of this game, so as soon as his Spire was done, 13 Zergs came to the 13 Mutalisks came to the field. And now he's rushing, looks like he's rushing to get Stalkers to try and deal with it.
Yeah, let's look at the unit count. And at this point, we're down to 22 probes, so his economy's been pretty much crippled.
Crippled, yeah. He's
Now,
making a counter push at the third.
He
at the
is.
fourth.
He is going to try and go for possibly a base race here, with a lot of sentries.
Yeah, those sentries only doing 8 damage, not really doing the greatest amount of damage to Mutalisk, but are whittling them down. That many of them, I guess.
Oh yeah, they will. Yeah, they still have. They basically have Marine DPS, unstim Marine DPS. Not quite, but close.
Yeah.
You get enough of them. They're gonna hurt Mutas.
8 DP, 8 damage per second at level 2.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'm surprised he's focusing the mutas. I would, or focusing the stalkers with the Mutalisks.
Well, really, what I would have liked to see here is just get this hatch down immediately. Just knock the hatch down, and then here what we
Walk
have
away.
Yeah. Now here's the base race going on.
Yep, there's the counter at the third coming in. Everybody's trying
And
to push.
this is the only reason why I'm
Opposed.
taking this replay to this point. If this mothership core had enough to recall, he might have been able to stay in the game. But it didn't. And it's not his fault that it didn't. I mean, he had an attack down here. You know, he was trying to get back up. But because he can't get back into his base, and mutas are so fast, and so are Zerglings, he's just going to lose the race to knock down buildings. We'll see this happen.
It was a game in the WCS we were watching, and they kept throwing down. It was base race, kept throwing down probes, or kept throwing down pylons in the base race versus Terran. Having to with his armies
Yeah.
always seemed to help out.
Yeah, and Zerg is just all over the map, and the mutas let him just move so quickly, and he's going to come back and kill this before he can defend himself. If he had had that recall, he might have been able to stabilize, get back in the game, but he didn't. Alright, so going back to what happened. The biggest problems I see with this play is your Mortal Sentry, if you're going to commit to it against Zerg, you need to hit with it. You can't just sit around in your base. That is not the right build to sit around in your base with. You have to push before Zerg gets too powerful. And second of all, you cannot afford to lose those early sentries like you lost down here.
Ooh. Yeah, the sentry is so much more lost than just the resources
Game
lost.
paused.
Right. Alright, so let's see if chat has got any questions before we go to the next game. See if my chat came back up.
Alright. So while we're loading up the next game, if there's any questions out there, go ahead and throw them up in chat. And even if his chat isn't working, I will relay the questions as we read them off and load everything up. And you get to look at our pretty faces. And I'm gonna turn the light. Oh, jeez, my mouse goes flying.
Yeah, chat's still not working for me. So,
Turn the
do
light.
we have any questions?
Not any yet. It doesn't seem. Turn the light on in my room as this storm is rolling in.
No questions? Okay. Two-base Soul Train? Say, I wish I could see what he was saying. Well, you better hurry up. Alright, well, Billy's gonna bring another computer over here so I can actually see what's going on in chat.
Alright, so the moral of that story is protect your sentries. When you're doing a planning for a timing attack build,
Well,
attack.
yeah, it's generally now he didn't treat it like an attack. He just built a bunch of immortals and sentries, which is not quite an all-in or anything like that. It's a different build, but it is not optimal against Zerg.
Yeah.
All right. So while she does that, let's go into the next replay and we'll get back to it.
Alright, let me quit out of this one.
This is kind of silly that the chat
So-
doesn't work.
Do you Is that a good build to do against Zerg? If you're using it, if you're attacking, if you're trying to pressure bases, can you utilize that build versus Zerg and have it be effective, or is eventually it just going to fail because of the Zerg mechanics?
Well, actually, one of the sole pioneers of it, Parting, he actually has stopped using it in the last few months. I mean, occasionally you'll see it, but he's generally not using it in the highest level games that he's playing anymore. Because it's been pretty much figured out and it's been pretty much refuted. It is not the optimal build against a Zerg anymore. But that being said, just because you're not using an optimal build doesn't mean you can't win games with a build. Alright, never not use a build just because it's not considered the peak of metagame. It's still a useful thing to have and pull out every once in a while. It's just it's no longer considered state of the art like it was back in Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, it would be your unexpected build to throw at someone. Something that eventually they're not going to be expecting because nobody's really doing it anymore.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so he's talking about a different build. I might have to pull up that that Day 9 daily later on and take a look at it.
All right, we do have a question from Moose. He's asking, how do you hold an early third when they pressure with lots of lings?
Well, you all pretty much had the idea, Moose. It's just the problem is the position of your zealots prevented them from being useful, and your force fields basically locked everything, and it basically locked the Zerglings into your sentries. If you had your zealots pushed forward just a little bit and you were able to completely wall off your sentries, you might have been better off.
Even having him positioned, I think, closer to that choke point where he could have thrown down the force fields at the choke point and stopped the Zerglings from coming in, I think would have worked well too.
Yeah, because as you know, you're a diamond level player. You know that zealots absolutely shred Zerglings, especially if you can dictate the fight, i.e. you can prevent the Zerglings from surrounding the zealots. So if you can present a small amount of surface area to the Zerglings, you can hold off virtually an infinite number of Zerglings with a small number of zealots.
So it's okay to have my units by the third, just the micro.
Yeah. That was a good timing for a third. That was not too greedy. All right. So let's go into his next game.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the Protoss when you are taking a third like that has that nice narrow choke point. A couple of sentries and a couple of zealots can hold off. I mean, unless that you scouted and the Zerg's going a lot of roaches, but if all they have is lings while they're trying to keep you on the back burner until they get up and go mutilus and stuff, Zerglings aren't getting in. If you throw down a couple of well placed force fields and you got some zealots there, I just run away. As a Zerg, I just run away. I don't even try and engage that.
Yeah, and a lot of times, sometimes Protoss are just so sick of the run-bys, especially on Belshire, because it's so open, that they're literally just walling off the entire thing with gateways. And they're just like, screw it, I'm not going to even deal with it. What's up?
My cam's frozen, but that's okay. As long as you can still hear me and see my pretty face, even if it's frozen, that's all that matters.
Okay. Alright, well, let me switch things around here. I'm going to start this replay. And switch the...
That's all you need, Root, just to hear my pretty voice.
That's right. Alright, so this is going to be Moose against, I don't know, Foxboy, I guess? On Red City.
Foxboy.
Yeah.
Using that Foxfire. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of anime.
Well, if you're committed to... Okay. After taking a third, what timing should I be trying to hit?
Game paused.
You have to hit before he's able to get a bunch of mutas. If you're going to stick with a Mortal Sentry. Otherwise...
I think around...
What's up?
I was going to say, I think around like 12 minutes with going that early third base around when that first initial burst of mutas is going to hit.
Yeah.
Is going to be at least started to be built if they're any kind of decent.
Yeah, something around that. And another thing you can do is while your third is down, or going down, you can push a little bit and just pressure him. I noticed you had a forward pylon. I think you had a chance to just at least do a Zealot warpin or two.
Game resumed.
Yeah, if you take out his third and fourth and he only gets your third, then that's a very
well,
good
if
trade.
you can at least deny his fourth, or delay it sufficiently while you're able to hold your third, that's enough too. Because being on even bases against Zerg is ideal as Protoss. That's just sick.
I've noticed. I do not like it when my expansions get denied as Zerg because it just feels like I'm so far behind now, even though I have more bases sometimes. All right, so we got the gas coming down at the same time as the supply depot.
Yeah,
and
we're waiting for you.
we're waiting for me.
Yep.
I wonder if this storm has anything to do with it. There we go. I'm gonna close some things down too.
Fail. Alright, let's see what build. I'm still getting used to this interface. I still wanting to look up here for supply.
All right, there we go. That should be better for online.
Alright, so gateway first. Against.
Early
Yeah, let's
gas.
see if he's gonna go Reapers or Factory from that.
I'm gonna say factory. That's what my gut tells me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, it is. You don't see too many going Reapers these days for some reason, which is surprising because Reapers are just good units.
Yeah, they're a great scout. Great scout.
They're a pain in the butt if you can't get a stalker out to deal with them quick enough, or even Zerglings have a hard time dealing with them because once they get off the creep before Zerg speed's done.
Yeah. Alright, so this is looking like drop play here. Because we have a 1-1-1 from Terran.
1-1-1. Destiny Cloudfist, boom. No.
Cool, you got an early robo. Or standard robo timing, actually. 5 minutes.
So is he going for the same build on this one?
No, this is definitely not the same.
Not Robo Sentry?
No, because he went Gateway Expand.
Okay. Here comes the Widow Mine.
And Hellions. Alright, let's see. Are you going to chrono out an Observer?
Hey, he gets the Widow Mine. Very nice. Very nice micro to take out the Widow Mine.
Oh, did I miss a Widow Mine over here while I was looking at something else?
Yeah, he did kill the Widow Mine right by the cybernetics core. He had one stalker shooting it the whole time, and he brought 4 probes off the line, got it right as it was about to burrow.
Excellent. Alright, so let's see what he does with this good Observer here. Where are you going with that?
Right to the front for now. Some Hellions poking around. Here comes a Hellion drop. Yep, drop play.
Okay.
Hellion drop in the back. He does have 2 stalkers hanging back to help deal with it.
Yeah, this is one of those maps, Moose. You see all this open air here? It's a given Terran's going to try to exploit it in this type of spawn position if you guys both spawn at top or bottom like this. Get a pylon here and take your first Observer and fly him somewhere around here so that you can see the drops coming in time.
Alright, Stalker's doing some damage, but it seems like some probes are getting roasted. 4 of them already, and then he takes off. Burns the Photon Overcharge in the main. You think that Photon Overcharge was used preemptively there? I think it was worth to try and throw off the...
It's fine. I mean, a 1-1-1, he's not going to follow up with a big army, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a problem. That didn't really do much.
See, these are the things that I can think of when I'm watching a replay, but when I'm playing a game and something like that happens,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, they're going to be coming a huge army at the front. Oh, wait a minute. He can't because...
Right, exactly.
But yeah. I always expect the worst. I'm expecting like, oh, here come the Thors. We're only 7 minutes in the game. I know, but there's going to be 30 Thors.
That's common. That's why it's important that you study your other races as well, especially their typical timings.
Yeah, that's one thing I've been trying to do by helping my buddy to learn to play. Yeah, I've been playing other races, trying to figure things out to help my Zerg better.
Alright, so...
Doesn't seem like Terran's going to try and continue with this harass much at all. Here
Well,
comes another
actually-
drop.
Yeah, here comes some medevac.
That seemed like a weird speed.
And if we had an Observer here, Moose, I'm going to repeat myself here, and if there was an Observer right here, or hell, even here, you would see that drop coming.
Yeah, he does get the pylon in the back, though, to help spot it a little earlier.
And this Terran is actually taking the scenic route, which is kind of funny. In anticipation of observers being down there. But that's fine. The longer a drop takes to occur, the more units you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. So he's going for the double drop pressure.
What I don't like observers that are sitting in your base. Really, get those observers out there in the map. You need to see what Terran's doing.
Put him to work.
Yeah.
Here comes the double drop, dropping up on. Oh man, that is a nasty ridge. That is a pain in the butt. that little ledge, little ramp up to a ledge, right in your base.
That was a decent reaction time. So I don't think that did much, if anything.
Widowmine does get burrowed in the main, and there goes a lot of probes. 4 probes. But
starting to get whittled down by drops here. 37.
He's lost 12 workers so far.
Yeah.
Down to 39 to 44 on the worker count. 48 if you count the mules.
Game paused.
Yeah, I understand that. That's why you had it there, but it's better to see the drop coming than to wait for the drop to hit you and then be like, oh, I happen to have an observer here.
Yeah, if you see the drop coming, you can always head over to your observer and have him follow the dropship in to catch the widow mines.
Yeah, it's okay to have one observer in your base, or forward position around your base. That's fine, but you've literally got one observer per base.
Yeah.
And this is kind of an overreaction to widow mines. Honestly, if widow mines are driving you that much nuts, just build a single cannon in your mineral line, and then get your observers back out there in the map.
Game resumed.
Mothership still positioned at the front. Drop ships hanging out in the shadows just outside each base still. Here comes 2 more drop ships. One full with Marines, it looks like, and one with 1 Marine in it, because, he's a high-valued unit. He's a VIP. He gets his own drop ship. He gets his own medevac.
Shik, if you're not committed to your robo, well, you are.
Game paused.
Okay, how many observers should you make? There's no easy answer to that question, but you do know some things, especially like on a map like this. You know you need some observer here. Like, this is just too obvious of a flight path for Terran not to take advantage of it. And any Terran that's half decent, especially you're in diamond level, this is going to start to be prominent. He is going to try and try and try down this path until you completely shut it down. Okay? So, we know we need an observer here.
Oh, definitely.
You also definitely need an observer forward to see what Terran's doing. If you're not going to be aggressive with your units, if you're not using zealots to run by or things like that, you have to have another observer out here to see what Terran is doing. Is he priming up for a push? What are his tech options? Is he sticking with bio? Is he doing something else? Is he taking the third? Are you staying economically up to par with him? You don't know any of these things because you don't have any observers out there on the map.
Somebody, get me out of this.
Yeah, don't even have sight on his natural. I mean, you know it.
Right. And drops like this, these you could have been ready for this if you just had that observer over here.
Colossus shows up to the party a little bit late.
Yeah. No, I think I saw an immortal around here somewhere.
Units,
Yeah,
Immortal,
where is he?
he is at the back of the base, back of the main now. He came up with the Colossus. He's hiding under
Yeah,
the
he's
Colossus.
not really helping with the defense, especially against like Hellions and Marines. It would have been better just to make observers instead of him.
And Terran's sending more Marines in as that production is starting to get going. He's got 4 barracks now. All with 3 of them with reactors, 1 with the tech lab.
Yeah, and he's just gonna harass Moose to death here.
It seems that way. Does fear the stalkers a little bit. So he's going to push to the front. There's Colossus hanging up there.
And if I was Terran, I would snipe this robo.
Which is what he's trying to, yep. He's focusing on it. Looks like Colossus are going to push him off as another one pops out.
Alright, starting to get... You do have thermal lance, right? Yes, you do. Good. Okay.
Let's check out all the upgrades all together. So
Okay.
he does have 1-1 also.
Here's something where I see a problem. You're pushing out, and you don't know what you're pushing into.
So how does Protoss come back from behind in a situation like this from Skull?
Okay, how do you come back from behind in a situation
Game
like this?
paused.
Let's see, how far behind are you?
Well, he's got 48 to 54 workers. The army supply is 6464.
You're not terribly behind in this situation. Oh wow, this third is
Terran does
saturated.
have a third, yeah.
Keep in mind that when Terran has 3 bases and Protoss has 2, that's somewhat normal. I can't stay that way the whole game, but it doesn't mean the game is over just because Terran has got his third down. Because you can trade cost efficiently with your units, especially if you have a good Colossi count and he's going bio, and you're switching to high temps. Which, are you teching to high temps? No.
No.
You're putting down more gateways. Okay, so you're gearing up for a push here. How can you get ahead? Honestly, one of the best ways to do it is to harass. You harass him back. If you have, there are so many places to put a forward pylon on this map. You just zealot run-bys constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Zealot run-by, zealot run-by, zealot run-by. If he gets sick of it, if he finally, puts the proper defenses up, well then you've bought enough time for you to switch into more efficient tech, which is going to be High Templars. Because you know he's going bio. I think you know. Well, you actually don't technically know because you didn't scout him, but you've seen the drops, and they're Marine drops, so more than likely he's going bio.
Game resumed.
Which should tell you, hey, I need Colossi in the meantime, and then I need to be teching to High Templar.
This engagement right there, that Colossus got kind of picked off needlessly. He was hanging out in the front. The second one, too. No micro on the Colossus.
And I don't like the way you're trying to breach this. Obviously, it's going to take more time to go around like this and come in. Red City is a weird map. There are a lot of nuances to it that take time to understand. But when you're streaming units in like this, you're obviously not getting a good spread. I mean, your Stalkers and your Immortals outrange the Marines. You should take advantage of that. Your Colossus certainly outranged the Marines. You should take advantage of that. If you go in as a little clump, as a line of units, you're not taking advantage of your range.
Yeah, with 3 Vikings with no upgrades, it's going to take a while to take down the Colossus. They're not going to be, one-shotting them by any means. So your Colossus will have some survivability for hanging out in the back, and your Stalkers and Immortals are doing their business.
Yeah, unfortunately, resources lost is getting more and more in favor of the Terran.
Yeah.
And let's go back here.
The base just
It might
completely
not
game
have
over.
even been the attack that killed him.
Yeah, that drop was never dealt with, so it dropped like almost as soon as he was attacking the front, and then there was nothing to do about the drop.
Well, part of the problem here is you don't have enough gates to warp in reinforcements. Oh, let's look at his camera. See.
You can just double tap 1.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So you just kind of A-moved the army. I see. I was staring at my net instead of the army that whole time. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so you understand that you didn't babysit. Let's see what you're looking at.
Doing stuff with natural, set the attack. Going for a third, and there's the attack with natural.
Okay.
Game paused.
You're gonna try and warp in 1, 2, 3 zealots to deal with it. And the mothership core, I think, is with your army, isn't it?
Yes.
It's kind of floating in the middle of... Okay, so the mothership core isn't there to help. Go back to this camera. Alright, you're watching the battle, but...
Yeah, the 2 Colossus just got focused.
Yeah, your base is getting destroyed here. What can you really do in this situation? Nothing, you're screwed. There's no other way to put it. You are getting economic damage done to you, and you are doing none to him. And part of the reason why it got to this point is because he was able to successfully drop you over and over. So I think the highlight of this game is observer placement. especially on Red City, with these huge wide open flight paths that you can't put stalkers or zealots or anything else in there to see. You have to use
Yeah.
your observers.
Yeah, I mean that south, that fly zone is just huge. I mean,
That's enormous.
it is enormous. Like you could hide an entire. I don't even know. You could build like 30 barracks and float them over there and hide them there.
Well, that might be a little extreme, but yeah.
I'm just saying.
Something to that effect.
They would fit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, so failure to see drops coming. Observer placement, that's the key for that game. Let's check out your third game. Now the great thing about this Moose is, of course, I'm pointing out flaws, but obviously there's many good things about your play. I'm not pointing out huge macro mistakes or anything like that, because they're not what caused the game to be lost, which is indicative of a player of your level. You've gotten past that, you know, do I need to make probes? Oops, I forgot to make probes. Oops, I'm getting supply blocked all the time. You've gotten past that. Now it's just execution, which is going to determine whether you can move up to master or not. Alright, so...
Red City getting taken out with the next season's ladder pool. Observer placement, still enforcement. Yeah, anti-scrub, yeah. You know, though, even though Red City's going to get taken out of the next season's ladder pool, they're going to
Yeah, I
add
remember hearing that, I think
gas.
yesterday. Yeah, I think I heard about that yesterday. But it's
There's
not
gonna
out
be
yet.
some- Yeah. Didn't this season just start?
No, this season, I think it's locked in one day, right? Yeah, it's locked today, right?
Oh, so what? You're locked in your.
He said he just hit diamond, so it'll be a bit... Don't worry, man, you're doing fine.
Ah, so I can just go ham and gold now that I'm locked in. Don't got to worry about getting ranked up, and I can just build up for the next season.
Well, no, you'll still get matched with players of your skill level. You just you won't advance until the next season.
Oh.
Alright, so we're gonna watch Moose's third game before we switch to Zerg.
Yay! That's what we're. Really exciting part.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm a Zerg fanboy. What can I say? All right, this one's gonna be on Neo Planet S. Moose versus Bravo Bovine. It's gonna be PvT.
Alright, and this is a very tough map to deal with Terran. Because they are uber mobile and they love running down these lanes and just picking shit off.
It's such a change from Wings of Liberty, where Terran was just slow, methodical every time, you know, with tank, you know, had to have tanks, Vikings going, to now in Heart of the Swarm, just feeling, you know, super mobile, being their, you know, kind of play style.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that makes it frustrating against Terran is this choke here is absolutely nasty. It is extremely hard to break this choke from a properly fortified Terran.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. I was comparing it to Cloud Kingdom, and in Cloud Kingdom, that little thing that juts out isn't there, so it's actually a wider opening. But yeah, that is a small, tight, nasty choke.
Yes, let's see.
All right, the scout came in and ran into the supply depot barracks wall off.
Mm-hmm. And we have a gateway probably expand again.
Let me check. You could just barely can't see the gas from there.
Nice, too good. Proper saturation.
15, 2 and 2. I know it's a lot of people doing that. That 2 and 2, 2 in gas instead of 3. Is that just because it kind of sets the timing? It automatically sets the timing.
Yeah. The build has been worked out so that's been found to be the ideal.
It pretty much dictates the units that you're going to build, kind of controls your build, so you can think about it a little less.
Yeah, you see how quick you got that robo down? That was a good robo timing, Moose. That was a really good robo timing.
I have gas for it, build gas. I don't have gas for it, build minerals.
Alright, let's see. So, unsurprisingly, we have Widow Mines coming up.
Shocked. Alright, and let me guess, he tries to put them into the mineral line.
Well, we'll see. I haven't seen the starport yet, and he's definitely got the gas for it.
Yeah. Throwing down a turret at the front. Is he afraid of DTs?
I don't know why he would be afraid of DTs. What's his vision?
That's a weird place.
He didn't got the main. Yeah, he did. What am I talking about? He's got it the main.
Yeah, he scouted the main.
Well, I mean, this is about the time that really fast DTs would hit, so I guess he's
just kind of going off the timing.
Yeah, he's worried about it, but whatever.
The Widow Mine right there, just in range of the missile turret. The missile turret was finishing up the front. Because it's the only thing I can think of for the placement of that turret.
Yeah, clearly that's a DT. Prep, because that...
Upgrade.
I guess this is supposed to deal with an Oracle because he has no Marines.
He did scan, too. Just now to figure out what he was up against. So, now he knows that turret was not needed.
Okay, so we have a second factory. So there's going to be some type of mech commitment here. And at the same time, we're having a mortal bust going on from Moose.
Forward pylon for the reinforcements. Here comes the engagement.
And this is not going to go well for Terran.
Even with all them Widow Mines?
Yeah, oh yeah. Even without micro, yeah, he's just going to completely murder that bunker.
Oh yeah.
And you've got a robo, and okay, so let me see your production tab. What are you building out of your robo right now?
He's building nothing out of anything right now.
Okay, do you have that robo hotkeyed? No, you don't.
No, he doesn't.
Okay. My recommendation would be to hotkey that robo and another hotkey separate from your warp gates. Let me just make sure he doesn't have it. Oh, he does. Okay, okay. So never mind. So you're gonna hit your number 4 and you're gonna hit tab. The moment you see Widow Mines, you have to get an observer. Get an observer.
Game resumed.
Especially when you got an attack like this, because the Widow Mines are gonna be your bane.
Field.
Yeah. So
Nice force field at the ramp.
Yeah, that was a perfect force field, by the way. I like that a lot. Yeah, so right now you're completely crushing him.
Yep, shut down his expansion. Killed a lot of workers.
This is unnecessary. You don't have to do this. Just wait for your observer. Wait for your observer. Is it coming yet?
Immortals outranged
Oh,
it.
where's your observer? Where's your observer?
Oh!
This
what
is
the
not
hell?
necessary. You don't have to do this.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Widow Mines go through hardened shield?
Yeah, there's spell damage.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is just so much more...
It still
epic.
takes 3 Widow Mine hits to kill an Immortal. They're still pretty nasty against Widow Mines, but... Okay, here's the observer. Right?
Yep.
Alright, hold on. I might have just made a complete idiot. Where...
Observer's right at the front.
Did he have an observer the whole time?
No, he did not. No, that observer just showed up.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm yelling at him for no reason.
And whenever you're yelling at Moose, it's always required.
Where is his observer? It's already there.
It's right on top of the army.
When did it get there? Because I wanna see what the timing of the army movement versus the immortal, or I mean the observer. Okay,
Right,
yeah, so you don't have it yet. Good, you're
Doesn't
making
have
it now.
Yep, just started.
All right, so that's not bad. That's fine.
Do Immortals outrange
Yes.
Widow Mines? Yeah.
Okay, unnecessary. No need to do this. Just contain him. I mean, you've already got him. He can't do anything. He cannot push down the ramp.
Can't take a third.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do. This is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, he just killed off everything. More Widow Mines coming out. Especially you see more Widow Mines
Yeah, and
coming
this
out.
is really dumb. I mean, Terran, hello. Widow Mine's range 5. Immortals range 6. Alright, this guy, 2 Immortals one-shots a Widow Mine. Or excuse me, 3 Immortals one-shots a Widow Mine.
Stalker range 6. So yeah, he can pick these off easy now.
Yeah, he can easily pick off these Widow Mines. But is he? No.
Nope.
Why are you giving Terran time to get back in the game? What are you doing here? What's your plan?
I'm not too concerned about the single siege tank up on the ramp. Second
Not
one just
against
came.
2 Immortals, hell no. They're laughing at that siege tank.
There goes the siege tank shooting.
Okay, now you're trying to pick off the Widow Mines. The Immortals are better for that, by the way.
Because they'll only take a little bit of damage from
you
siege
let
tanks.
Terran retake the natural, but you didn't do anything.
Game paused.
Is he in chat? He's in chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I don't like your inactivity here. You clearly had a huge advantage. You had him contained. I don't understand why you necessarily moved here. I'm not sure what you were afraid of by moving your army out from here into here and just needlessly taking a Widow Mine hit on the Immortal, losing the Zealot. That was completely unnecessary. If you had just chronoed your Observer the moment you saw the Widow Mines and gotten him out here, you could have just picked all these Widow Mines off very casually, very coolly, and started to push a little bit up the ramp until the tanks started to push you back. They can, but remember, the Immortal is only going to take 10 damage to his shields from those tanks every hit, and they fire once every 3 seconds, so it's going to take a long time to get an Immortal down from that tank. If we go back to the exact time, I just want to point out. Let me go back to just before the attack began.
Game paused.
If we go right here, just a little bit faster.
Game resumed.
Go to the attack, go to the attack. I'm going to do it from your point of view.
Here comes the warp in. Here comes the attack.
Alright, you see the Widow Mine right there. Boom. Instantly. Okay, so we're at 8:31. Okay, that Observer should have been over here by, let's say, at the worst case scenario, if you're being lazy, like 9:30. Okay? So a minute from now.
Game resumed.
Alright, so we're gonna... Yeah, even just brute force it down, because, yeah, 2 Immortals, hello.
I do love that force field.
Yeah,
that
was really nice. Alright, so the Observer should be here. Alright, if you had properly chronoed that Observer out the moment you saw, like, Widow Mines were in the game, there would have been no need for this right here, because it's 9:30 right here. You could have just flown the Observer, taken out the Widow Mines, parked it right here. I mean, what is Terran going to do about it? And just seen, okay, is he making tanks? Is he making more Widow Mines? How is he dealing with this?
Game resumed.
And if you see the actual state of the game,
Game
if you had
paused.
had that Observer at 9:30 and you're picking out these Widow Mines, you would have seen he's got nothing here. He has absolutely nothing. Right, I understand that. And you won't make this mistake again because you'll hear my shrill voice in your head the next time you do this. And you'll be like, okay, I'm going to make an Observer the moment I see a Robo. Or, excuse me, the moment I see a Widow Mine, not a Robo. And you won't have this problem again. And you would have easily won this game because you would have sit here and you would have picked things off, picked the reactor off, knocked down a supply depot or two, and all the time you could have been building up an army, getting your eco going or whatever, while you're causing him severe damage. So this is your game to lose.
It does have a huge bank right now, too.
Oh, wow, yeah, you have an enormous bank. So you could have, yeah, at this point you could have expanded. Now you're 10 minutes in, there's nothing he could have done. And this one tank, even if you'd seen this one tank, you have 2 Immortals, you could have just laughed at this one tank. You could have just, right here with vision, and just picked them off.
Additional supply depots required.
And he's doing a tech switch to Colossus. The robotics bay is almost complete.
I wouldn't do too much of this, Billy.
And here comes the back into the Widow Mines movement.
Alright, so let's see how this game plays out at this point.
Alright.
Alright, +2. So you've missed your opportunity to expand. Because now Terran has economic parity with you. And is building an army.
Army supply now 48 to 61.
Yeah, now that he has 4 tanks, you're not going to bust in there.
And Vikings coming down. There's 2 on the field right now. 2 more being built. Drilling claws started. Zealot leg rush started. Those the only upgrades down are warp gate and
I love this. Is funny. This is funny.
What?
The hallucinated
Observer? Oh.
Just
Game paused.
keeping in mind, you just burnt 400 energy on that.
Game
I think it
resumed.
was 400 energy. Alright, let's see how this goes. Not too well.
It's a tank. So there are only 15 Widow Mines left.
Yeah, and you should not be trading cost inefficiently. Okay. I think I've seen enough of this game.
Paused.
If you'd chrono that observer out, dealt with the Widow Mines, contained him just a little bit longer, prevented him from getting down here, and either expanded behind it or armied up for an attack, you would have won this game easily. But your hesitation down here, and you're kind of bumblefucking around here with the Widow Mines, it gave Terran an opportunity to get back in the game.
I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
Well, you heard it first on Tampa Esports.
Heard it first, right here.
Oh, okay, so we do like cursing. Alright, we can do more of that.
We can definitely do more of that.
Why
I
not?
can accommodate that.
Alright, so let's switch to, at this point, if you got any questions, Moose, I'll have Billy just tap me if you put them in chat, and I'll respond to them.
Yeah, while we're loading up this next game here,
Yeah, absolutely.
we get to look at Kerrigan's sexiness a little bit.
Where did I put them?
If it was up your butt, you'd know.
Oh. Folder up. Dumb ass. Alright, cool. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Okay. Because this is something fundamental I want people to understand. Alright, the player that we're coaching here is Rootfix. And he is...
Root. He is in chat as well. You didn't invite me to the replay.
I just need to not do that in game. Yeah.
You didn't. I'm not in the replay.
Oh, you know what? Let's try that again. That button.
There we go.
Poor Jared. And this is Zerg too. You want to watch Zerg so bad.
Oh, dude, I know. You can't deprive me of the Zerg, man.
I know, man.
It's just not right.
All right, so we'll try this again.
All right, so we got Root Fix coming up against Pulsar on Star Station. I do not like this map.
A lot of people don't like this.
This is, I mean, it seems like the third is such an obvious and easy choice, but it just, I don't know, it feels just...
Yes,
Yeah.
Moose, this will be a VOD.
Game resumed.
Alright. Let's see what's going on here.
Alright, scouting around. Was Star Station one that ended up being Force Cross Spawn? Is that the one that they changed to Force Cross Spawn?
This Star Station, it's currently Force Cross Spawn, right? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so Root sending out scouts everywhere. Overlord's going all over the place. Send out that drone. Was that drone the 10 drone? Root? Now you know, Root.
What's the question?
Paused.
I was just asking Root if that drone that he's using to scout was his number 10 drone.
Oh.
11, 12. Okay. It was one of the twins.
And yes, Moose, we'll be doing it again next Sunday. It should be a regular thing for us.
Yeah, this is our third Sunday in a row where we've got a pattern down,
Game resumed.
Yes, we do. And next week I should be doing 6-pool defense for everybody.
which yours truly may be submitting some games for, just to show how other people do or do not defend my system.
Oh, this is bad juju. Okay. Never, ever, 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 ever leave a probe unescorted in your base. Ever, 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 ever. Always have something chasing him around.
They cause badness.
Oh. Attack. Right-click the probe with one of your workers. If he ends up turning around and fighting that worker, just drag another one and right-click it. And once the
Swap
first
out.
worker Yeah, it loses a little bit of health, just send him back to work.
Yep.
And then the probe must leave. You cannot leave probes unescorted. Everybody. No unescorted probes in your base, ever.
Game resumed.
We ID.
And you can even see the probe, what he's doing here. Okay, this is definitely going to be a cannon.
Yeah. And if you go to the root cam, you can see why it's a bad idea, because you have no vision right now, so you have no idea where that probe is actually building the pylon right there.
But guys, I'll just tell you right now, if you're Zerg, you're just putting your hatch down, and a probe disappears up around your hatch, he's building a cannon. Like, it's happening. Like, there's no question that's what he's doing.
Game resumed.
What is it? Three drones can deal with it pretty effectively if you catch it early.
3 drones per cannon, but it's even better to try and kill the probe too.
Yeah.
At least chase the probe away.
Pylon's finishing up. The forge finishes
Do we have a
now.
question?
Game paused.
Sweet. I'm very loose. Okay, I'll get to that question in a minute. That's a complex one.
That's a very complex one. I'll copy that one so I can read it later.
Okay.
And then normally I keep an overlord there. That was a mistake. The root saying yes, that was a fatal mistake. I do the same thing when I play Zerg. I take my second overlord and I send him to my natural to look for those probes. And not doing that hurt you here, because that cannon is about half done now, and you do not have a spawning pool to deal with it, and there's no drones. Oh, you do have a spawning pool, but yeah, there's nothing on its way to stop this cannon. It's going to complete.
Yeah, at this point, this hatchery is done. It's game over for this hatchery. It's not necessarily game over for the game. I mean, if you scout it instantly, you could just cancel the hatch and put it up here. It's not ideal, but it's better than what's probably going to happen here, because you haven't scouted it yet.
The messed up part of this too is this isn't even a full-on cannon rush. This is a forge first expand into a, oh look, I can throw a cannon down and screw up your timing.
Exactly. That's yeah.
Never trust a probe. Never trust a probe. Dude, we need to get Beast and we need to do a parody of that.
Never trust a probe.
Never trust a probe.
Alright, so let's see what Queenie's doing here.
Queen's coming over to poke, to distract.
Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this. Queen does not win against cannon.
No. I think letting that hatchery complete was a mistake.
Letting the hatch complete, absolutely.
Cancel that.
This is bad too. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do that. By the way,
It's
2
exactly-
cannons, 1-shot Zerglings.
Yeah, it's exactly what he wants you to do. Commit Zerglings to a bad scenario.
Yeah.
You notice he's not building any more cannons because at that point, he's got 2 cannons. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's set. He's completely ahead of you at this point.
The only thing that, if you're going to try and save this, that might have worked would have been a spine crawler or 2, because they outrange the cannons.
You can spine up.
Yeah.
That's fine. Especially, usually a Zerg, because they can't keep placing cannons forward because of the creep. That usually can't work. But he got 2 cannons up before you really saw it.
And then when your queen could have thrown down a creep tumor, so that if your hatchery did die, you wouldn't have lost the creep and had to move the spine crawlers.
Okay. Alright, so in the future, if you are able to scout it in time, and you can get workers there in time, when you see a cannon going up, 3 workers can kill a cannon in construction. But they will die horribly if the cannon finishes.
Yes. Horrible little balls of goo.
Yeah, so don't sack workers at finished cannons. Don't sack Zerglings at finished cannons where they can't get surface area on the cannon. Build a spine crawler. Preferably cancel the hatch. If not, build a spine crawler and just poke away at the cannons.
If you can get your queen down there in time, you can do the hatch cancel creep tumor trick.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even bother. It's not worth wasting the 75 minerals. If you just go around it, just completely ignore it, and just get up sufficient forces to kill the cannons properly.
Yeah, never throw Zerglings at it. Never throw your queens at it.
Don't do that.
No.
Alright, so there's no point in watching that any further because you committed too much to dealing with those cannons.
Yep. And it just goes to show, he wasn't even really going for a cannon rush, but 2 cannons in a bad location, when you don't trust the probe, can really ruin your day.
Yeah. Okay, so let me get to Greatheart's question real quick.
Yes.
Alright, I'm very low bronze, still a complete noob, but I've been playing around with Tank Hellbat with a siege tank to secure my main and natural. How viable is this strategy against good players later on? Tank Hellbat. That is mech.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Terran mech is not ideal most of the time, except in TVT. But you're a low bronze, that is not going to be what holds you back. So if you're having fun with that right now, it is not a bad build. Go ahead and do it. Alright, so let's look at not Forge Fast Expand, which is probably a gateway opening.
Yes, Speak. Only StarCraft 2 replays, please. And don't forget to, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, this is only StarCraft.
Yeah. We might be looking into seeing if Alberona is going to be doing some league coaching, maybe. Yeah. Here soon. Alright, so Derelict Watcher T. Root Fix.
Yeah.
Upper right hand corner, lower left, the Zergs. Is this going to be a 6-pool defense?
I doubt it.
Oh, wait, never mind. I got it flipped around. Roots the Zerg.
Yeah.
Tears the Protoss. I'm on the right page now. Alright. Never trust. That's gonna be a hit song, dude. That's gonna be that's gonna be a hit. Never trust a pro, man. That's gonna be great. Featuring, it's gonna be Beast featuring Shadow and Shinigami.
Game paused.
Do you think that Jared is more... Well, he is dark. I mean, that basically ends the question right there. Of course he's more handsome.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Yeah.
think you could 6-pool toss anymore because of the Mothership Core. No, 6 pools hit before the Mothership Core is out.
Yes, especially if they're going for a expand first.
Yeah.
And they can't even wall it off. Actually, if they don't know what's coming and they try to do the forge or gate first expand at the second ramp, it's an easy run by. Easy run by.
It is an easy run by. But generally, believe it or not, it's more efficient just to knock down the pylon and the buildings that are there. Because with proper micro, you can defend the early 6-pool and still wall off the ramp. So usually what... And this is pro play, of course. What they'll usually do is they'll just knock down whatever building is sitting here when they get the Zerglings there, and just take the economic advantage they got from holding Protoss at one base.
Did you see how Khan worded that question? When I open with this on Belshir Vistage, do you think... Damn you, Khan, that had nothing to do... The second half of that question had the cause and effect there is completely null and void.
Very nice question. Oliver.
Being on Belshir Vistage and your opening does nothing in the factor of whether or not Jared is more handsome than Rob.
My own Tampa Esports buddy is trolling the Tampa Esports coaching corner.
Yeah. Thanks.
Alright.
God.
Okay, so just so you know, Rootfix, this is a gateway expand. It's not a Forge Fast expand, it's a gateway expand. I do like how you titled the replay, though, not FE, or not Forge. That was funny.
This is a not Forge.
Yeah.
That would be a GFE. As in, get fucked everywhere.
Well, we'll see.
I wouldn't even suggest the game I play. It's not very big. Well, what game do you play? Since we're waiting for this replay to ramp up.
See anything special going on here?
Yep. Nice little patrol here at the natural, although that Zealot is going to come out and have fun with that.
This is hilarious.
There goes the drone.
There are better uses for probes than this, like putting down proxy pylons
Instead of attacking the
and
hatch.
losing it needlessly against a hatch.
Hey. Well, now they're even. The Zealot took out the drone. The
Okay,
Zerg
this
took out-
is early. Ooh, this is a 4-gate. Okay.
Ah, so this is a foe.
Okay, this
Wait.
4-gate would have been 10 times more
Game
effective
paused.
if Protoss had not attacked the hatchery with the probe and put down a proxy pylon.
Yep, like up on this
Game
ledge,
resumed.
the fourth over there, or third, whichever you want to call it, on the left.
So let's see how this proceeds. Production tab is nice.
It helps. And got a stalker being built.
Now, I have noticed a pattern root fix, and I like this. You are very active with your Zerglings, and this is good. This is extremely good. Keep this behavior up.
Checking everywhere.
Yeah,
It's something
especially for gold level play. This is very active, and I like it.
yeah, it's something I need. I'm gold, and it's something I need to do a lot better. And I'm not nearly as active with my Zerglings as you are.
All right, so you got a great economy. Everything's good so far.
Normally the 4-gate would be hitting right now if that probe hadn't.
Yeah, honestly, this is
Game
you would be
paused.
defending the 4-gate right now, but you lucked out because he didn't make a proxy pylon. Because he
Game
attacked your
resumed.
hatch.
And saw that force the front, running down spine crawlers and evolution. Nope, just 4 spine crawlers.
Which is this is fine because you saw what he was doing. I think.
Game paused.
Did you? Well, you didn't quite know what he was doing.
So it looks like Tears went to a. I don't think he was trying to do a 4-gate attack with this. I think he was doing a 4-gate defense into a natural.
Okay, so what's the proper response when a scout of 4-gate? You need to immediately spine up, get a Roachborn down if you don't have it already, and prepare to fight for your life.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can make queens constantly, that would be great. You need to stop. You need to make sure you have larva, but you don't want to be injecting so often you can't transfuse. And if you can get evo chambers to wall off, do it.
Yeah, because that 4-gate has a very limited duration of effectiveness.
Right. Remember, a 4-gate is just like defending a 6-pool or something else. It basically, if you can hold off the attack long enough for your superior economy to give you the options to deal with it, then you will win. But it will hit you hard.
Yes.
Game resumed.
And honestly, the best thing you can do, Root Fix, is get a Protoss
Game
player who's
paused.
half decent at a 4-gate and practice with him. You know, just do 10 or 20 scrims in a row where you know he's going to 4-gate. Don't respond to it until you scout it properly, and then just practice defending it over and over and over.
Game
Yeah.
resumed.
This was, I honestly, and this is based on my gold experience, I don't think this guy was going for a 4-gate push. I think he was going for a 4-gate defense, which I'm not saying is,
Well, okay,
Game
you Protoss
paused.
players out there, this is really dumb. I mean, I'm sure Oliver's laughing his ass off right now, because
yeah.
if you build the 4 gates before your Nexus, you are just ridiculously delaying that Nexus. Alright? At the best, if you're going to put on pressure, make 3 gates and put down your Nexus. Don't make 4 gates, because you're... No, don't do
Game
that.
resumed.
Probe just got sacked at the front trying to peek in. So he just lost another probe, still no forward pylon.
He just lost it right here, didn't he?
Yeah, right at the front, right in the spine crawler.
Right in the spine-
Oh, those things are pretty. Ah!
Alright. Where are your overlords, Root Fix?
Units, overlords, 7 overlords, 1 and 2 in the base, 3 to the right of the natural.
Okay. Oh, there's one right there. That's where I want him. That's good. Where's this guy, though? Where'd he go?
1 over there. He's got him pretty well lined along the right hand side. Nothing in the middle, and then 1 on the left at the base up there in the north left, mid left.
Oh, you got it. Wait. You got him down here. Okay. I
Yeah.
would have liked to seen an overlord up here. So that you can poke in and just watch and see if the minerals are being mined or if the Nexus has gone down.
Game resumed.
Yeah, because right now he can't see anything being mined with that overlord on the right. Even if he just poked his head in a little bit more.
Yeah, just
from that-
poke a little
from the
bit.
bottom. Yeah.
Alright, so now Protoss is going to push out.
With his 10-minute timing push 4-gate.
Yeah.
With no proxy-
Against
with no
42
proxy
lings,
pylon.
this is not going to go well for Protoss. Oh god, no, this is definitely not going to go well for Protoss.
And then here go the sentries.
And you Protoss
Yeah,
players, if you're in this
paused.
situation, force field. Remember, it pushes the units away.
Game resumed.
There you go.
I forgot the backside.
But you just lost every sentry.
Yeah, and these 5 stalkers are not going to do well against the
No,
remaining
not against this minizer.
30 lanes.
Alright, so right now you have a commanding lead, Rufix.
Very commanding. 3 bases off his delayed 4-gate nexus. With no proxy pylon.
Alright, what are you doing here, though?
Looks like he defended, so he's running in.
Okay.
Game paused.
You're doing the classic, I beat his army, so therefore I should be able to go kill him. But this is a little early and pretty small of a force to be doing this. Let's see how successful it is.
Especially when it's all lings.
Yeah.
I hope just turns and runs away.
And remember the numbers here. This many links will lose to this many zealots in a choke.
Because it's 1 ling at a time.
Yeah, you don't even need the stalkers here.
Game resumed.
Yeah, he
okay,
loses
good.
a couple runs away. Okay.
So he pulls away. Alright, good.
Yeah. That mothership core sitting out in the middle still, poking away.
What's up?
Alright, so let's head back over to production and see what you're doing in production. Your macro's slipping a little bit, but that's not the worst thing in the world. And transitioning into a spire, which I don't hate.
Now, where are your evos?
Just threw them down in the
Okay.
in the main.
Aspire, okay.
1 in the main, yep, 2 in the main, and a spire in the main.
And, oh, okay.
Game
How many
paused.
queens do you have right now?
He has 3.
Okay, something you need to start working on. Pretty much immediately. You need to start working on, at the very least, if you're not going to spread creep aggressively, you need to spread it defensively. You need to connect your bases with a few tumors. You don't have enough queens. Make more queens. 5 queens on 3 bases is fine. 6 is fantastic.
Also, it's hard to remember with Zerg because our drones are our buildings, but your natural has just gotten completely unsaturated from your building, and you're down to 9 workers on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So just keep a look at those numbers when you go back to do your injects. See, even if you got the rally point for all of your, so you got all your hatcheries on 4. Even if you got the rally point for your drones set differently, when you're building units, when you hit your 1S and then you hit D 6 times, before you click off of that, you can click on the minerals. So 6 drones will go to that location, and then you can do it and send them to another location instead of just worrying about 1 base building for 1 mineral line.
Right. And in case these Zergs don't know the procedure that he's talking about, basically when you do your base key S and then you hold down the D and you make however many drones, you then control-click the drone, one of the drone eggs down here, and that selects only the drones. And then you can give them whatever order you want, like if you want them to move somewhere, if you want them to start on a mineral patch or whatever.
Game resumed.
And that'll help you keep your around 16 on your mineral lines, which is a healthy number, so I'm told. But I didn't know until I asked you, so it's secondhand information. I'm citing my references.
Hey, that's fine.
I'm in college. I gotta cite my references. I have become an expert at research papers. I'm not gonna lie. I can do a research paper in 6-page research paper in under 2 hours and get an A on it. And all I do is copy, paste, cite, and then elaborate. That's all you have to. If you're in college, that's all you have to do. Copy, paste, cite, elaborate. Easy A.
Nice.
Got to cite though, because they will fail you for copyright infringement. And so will YouTube if you have 3 cites.
I don't know about this.
These Zerglings running in, good force fields on it.
Yeah. This is not a good attack to take, based on the sentry count. Let's see how this goes.
And they can't get around. The Zealots are in good placement protecting the Stalkers and Sentries. The Sentries do get picked off.
This is not good.
There's the time. That seems like a very ineffective time warp.
No. That's a really effective time warp, because as the Zerglings try and surround, they go really slow.
Oh, I know, but he threw it down when all of the Zerglings were dead.
Oh, well, okay.
There was 5 Zerglings left. It's like, time warp!
Maybe he's really amped right now.
Yeah. Too much Red Bull. Sponsored by Red
We'd like
Bull.
to thank our sponsor, Red
We'd like
Bull.
to thank our sponsor, Red Bull, for helping us tweak this guy out. Yeah,
And ouch. Okay,
Game paused.
where is your army?
there is no army. 36 Zerglings that just came out.
Because you kind of threw them away. Okay. There's 2 problems here. One, you threw away half your army. I'm pretty sure if you had not lost all those Zerglings, you could have defended this with the amount of Zerglings you have here. And second of all, it's going to take longer for your reinforcements to get down there because you don't have the creep connection. And this is probably why you... I'm assuming you lost this game. It's probably because you threw your Zerglings away right here.
Alright, here come 36 Zerglings streaming in.
Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Now, and the Mutalisks are coming out, but there's only 2. And that's not enough to do almost tickle.
Yeah, and this hatch is going to go down, and now you're on 2 bases against 2 base Protoss.
Which is never good.
No.
Even though he went 4 gate defense. I'm not gonna let that go, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, it is kind of funny. Alright, so you are switching to Mutas.
Dad, shut the fuck up! Jeez.
Alright, what's going on?
I apparently didn't.
2 Archons. That's gonna hurt against Mutas.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, and at this point, the Protoss doesn't even need to attack in those spine crawlers either.
Yeah, I mean, we might be just dragging this out when we don't need to.
There's only 3 minutes left. At times 2, you'll get through it pretty quick.
Okay.
Just go through it.
Game resumed.
But I'm pretty sure I know what happens.
Yeah, those Archons are just gonna completely clean up the Mutas.
Yeah,
It's not gonna even be...
There's a storm too, yeah. With the 3rd base going down. The Overlord rally point.
Going for a drop?
Watch your Overlords. I know you lost this one anyway, but you had your rally point for all your hatcheries set, and I don't know if that was intentional that you sent all your Overlords out.
He's a nice guy.
What did he say? Oh, because he did the creep. Yeah, he dropped creep on his 3rd. But yeah, you had your rally point set, and all your Overlords went to the rally point at the front of his base, which you don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so rude.
Yeah, that is kind of rude. Alright, so the key thing here is you lost your Zerglings here unnecessarily, which prevented you from defending here. And even then, it would have been a hard defense, but you would have had a much better chance with twice as many Zerglings. And not connecting the creep is making it harder.
Alright, when I lost my 3rd, was there any way to salvage?
No, you were screwed at that point. Once you lost your 3rd, the question was, once I lost my 3rd, is there any way to salvage it? No. Not in this case. Alright, let's look at another replay. Should we do 7 Roach Rush versus Muta build, or Reaper Hellion Hellbat tank?
did who sang that one?
Oh, these are both roof fixed. So I'm gonna go with Reaper Hellion Hellbat tank.
Alrighty.
My beer is piss warm.
I did not realize that it was still on that microphone.
Yeah, I'll take another one. Alright, so Root Fix versus, Neoplanet. As we mentioned before, not fun to fight Terran on.
That epic choke point there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a problem with Terran the other day on this one. He threw up turrets everywhere, and I just couldn't harass, and it just frustrated me, and I lost control of my macro, and it was bad news.
Game paused.
Yeah. Alright.
Game resumed.
What are you doing with your 3rd Overlord? Wait for it to come out. Oh, you are
Game paused.
pretty supply blocked here. You're only on 1 larva, but...
Overlord coming out.
Resume. Game
I guess
paused.
the standard is at 16. You want to throw that Overlord out, unless you have a specific timing that you know you can do.
No. 16 is a great time to get the 3rd Overlord. But I want to point out, against Terran, this is probably not the ideal use of your 2nd Overlord. If you want to loop through this base and make sure he's not doing like stupid bunker pushes, that's fine. But get this guy over here as quick as you can. And this guy, yeah, that's fine.
Game resumed.
Scouting with the lings, I like it. Very nice. Good, popping in, seeing what he's doing. Oh, is the stream down?
Paused.
It's not for me. I still see it going.
Alright, everybody, is the stream up still?
I'm watching it still, and it's up.
You see me dancing? You see me dancing? Remember that from Borderlands? I'm dancing, I'm dancing.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, you're still. Yeah, there's the dance. Yeah, everything's up still. It's just hers dropped out, I guess.
Okay, well, hit pause and play real quick. I just want to make sure you're up. And stream is live. Good, okay. Alright, back to the game.
There we go.
Game resumed.
What is it with Twitch, man?
I don't know. All right, so the third base.
Alright,
7
what is
minutes.
Terran doing? Terran's going mech.
Starport being built.
A single Reaper.
Easily dealt with.
Yeah, not doing anything at all. You haven't lost any. Ooh. So apparently, if you hit Control E by accident, it starts you over.
Yes, yes, it does.
Alright.
Okay, they can see the stream.
Yeah, so the stream's fine.
Yeah, she might have to refresh.
You might have to just refresh the page, but.
Oh, very good movement on your Zerglings again. Here comes some Hellions.
Not enough Zerglings to deal with it. Good.
And your reaction to this? Let's see.
Where's... I mean, it's gonna take them forever to knock this down.
Yeah. And 10 Zerglings is being built. Infernal Pre-Igniters being researched. They do less damage versus non-light units than sentries.
Yeah, they do much less. Much less.
And the Zerglings get there, kill 2, and kick them off. Alright, so the third survives successfully. Not taking too much health. The Zerglings chase them all the way back.
Just gotta put that right in front.
Yep.
Bad idea, there's a tank.
Very bad idea. Zerglings don't like
But that's
artillery.
okay. I don't have a problem with that poke. That's
Oh,
okay.
no.
Even though they're damaged, it's... The poke is
Yeah.
okay.
They'll be fine. Ain't nothing wrong with a little poke.
Alright, once again, that creep. These bases should already be connected. Well, it's 11 minutes. Honestly, your creep should be like right here. Like covering this much of the map.
At least, yeah, like you said, at least connected to your third.
Yeah, at the very least connected to your third.
Yep.
Alright. Macro hatch.
Overlord hanging out at the third.
So I think you're gonna commit to Lings because you got a macro hatch.
Galil
Nope,
Reconstitution.
you're going roaches.
Just-
Alright.
So, I mean, yeah, roaches end up being really good versus Hellions. Good
Yeah,
natural
against mech, roaches last longer. They have more lifespan in the game than they do against bio.
Mhm. Just gotta watch out for them tanks.
And I think you're probably gonna go swarm host, seeing the infestation pit.
Would make sense. Not gonna be large masses of bio units, so the infestors wouldn't get their full usefulness. And here come the Hellbats. Second armory, level 2 upgrades, 12 minutes, not bad. Pretty good time speed on your upgrades there. Much better than me. I'm horrible at remembering to get my upgrades. Doesn't have the ranged attack upgrade, but that's not really why you have the roaches anyway.
I guess this is just... I'm not sure what the bailing nest is for. It's so cheap it doesn't matter, but... I'm curious why you built that versus like a Hydra Den or something else.
Oh crap, bailing nest. Transfer over, 14 on there, 17 on there, good. 17 on there, good. 3. Queen energy, very low, nice.
Fly blocked.
Natural queen energy getting a little high. You could probably start getting a creep tomb ring with that. Yeah, creep's the only thing that's not going pretty well is macro right now.
Yeah, just make more queens. It'll help.
And that third base go down. Did he see it?
Game paused.
You have no idea how to respond to Hellbats as Zerg. Roaches.
Game resumed.
Yeah, so you go... Yeah. A little late for that overlord speed, but it's alright.
So he's got the infestor, or infesting pip. What is he doing? Alright, so you've had that infestor. There you go. Okay, there's the research. I was gonna say you've had that infestor pip for quite a while. Nothing going on with it. I'm a big fan of not building something else you're gonna use it.
Yeah, with the exception of a bailing nest.
Of course, yeah. Baneling Nest is never bad to have. It's cheap. What is it, 150 or something like that?
Yeah, it's very cheap.
More roaches.
Alright.
15 hellbats out there.
Your
And
swarm host timing is a little delayed here.
yeah, he's had that infestation pit for a while.
And remember, if you're gonna make swarm hosts, you need more creep.
Going for the double gold as a bold move.
And we already talked about the miss rally of the overlords.
Yep.
Yeah, there. He's actually gonna supply block. Well, no, he's not. Never mind.
I lost a lot of overlords before I figured out that every time I built an overlord to do that control egg movement thing.
Yeah.
So that I wasn't sending them into the battle every time when I was trying to macro.
This is a little ballsy, going double hatch in the middle of the map, so you know.
A little ballsy.
Especially with an expansion down here, too.
Yeah.
I do like that you're trying to spend, but army units would have been a better use of your resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes that bank just gets so high, you're like, what do I do with it? I'm throwing down expansion.
Alright, now Terran is on 3 base. Completely. And you still don't have a sizable number of swarm hosts.
Yep. Only at 5 swarm hosts. Rallying right to the middle.
If you're gonna go swarm hosts, you need to go swarm hosts. Generally, the magic numbers anywhere between 16 to 24 swarm hosts.
Yeah, I don't like getting many more than 16 because then
And people don't realize it, but swarm hosts are very micro-intensive.
Yep. You gotta always be moving them around.
Constantly repositioning them, getting spores and spines up behind them, microing your army behind them, telling the locusts to target fire. Alright, what's going on here?
Tanks just sieged up. Looks like
you're-
a big battle.
You're fighting into a choke against tanks. Don't do
Yep.
that.
You need if you get in there,
Wait
get
for
in
it
there,
to come out
snipe
here.
those tanks and get out.
Wait for it to come out here. You've got road speed, right? Yeah, you've got road
Yeah.
speed. At least wait for him to come out here.
Well, at first those tanks weren't sieged up. If he would have went in, boom, boom, picked off a tank and got the
Yeah,
hell
that's gonna be extremely hard with Hellbats though, because these Hellbats are gonna block the tanks if Terran is even half trying.
The Hellbats weren't in the way.
They weren't?
It took a while for the Hellbats to get in there.
Oh.
Yeah, he could you could see that siege tank does have a lot of damage on it. That was the damage that was done before the Hellbats got in.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Game paused.
this is generally what you don't want to do. You don't want your swarm hosts away from your army. And you certainly don't want them in a forward position here unescorted. The Terran is just going to scan and stomp them, which I'm assuming is going to come real soon. The proper way for swarm host play to work is you creep spread, and across your attack vector you get lots of queens. You creep spread as fast as you possibly can, and then you do the swarm host dance. And that is where you put a swarm host down, you wait for the locust to pop out. Remember, locusts pop out every 25 seconds. Get the locust moving forward, then you pick the swarm host up and you move the swarm host forward. Wait for the next batch of locusts, and then you keep doing that, and then until you're like right here, or right here, or right here, or something like that, and you're crushing his base. Slowly but surely. You don't just randomly put them out in the middle of the map, because they can't defend themselves. They are poor defensive units, both for your base and by themselves. They have to be supplemented with an army.
Yeah.
And preferably they're on creep, they're surrounded by spines or spores if there's a lot of air.
Yep, there goes the scan,
Yeah,
and there goes the
unfortunately, this is worthless army supply right now. I do like Swarm Host against mech, so this is not the wrong unit composition. The problem here is just your usage of the units.
Yeah, and then the roaches just getting pounded on
Yeah,
here.
at this point, Terran's got such an army advantage.
100 to 44,
Yeah,
110 to 44.
he's gonna get both of these down. Slow down. Yeah.
Overlord's getting picked off by Vikings. Yeah, that Overlord rally. Gotta watch out for that.
And Terran is just gonna stream up right through the conveniently cleared ramp.
Yeah, he already cleared out the rocks for him.
Yeah. And it's too late for Vipers.
Game paused.
Yeah.
It's way too late for Vipers. Vipers are only going to work when you can pull the units into a big bunch of DPS. And you don't have DPS here.
Or get some nice blinding clouds.
Well, yeah, but Blinding Cloud, you still need the DPS.
Yep.
Game resumed.
Yeah. This game is
Oh yeah.
okay, so
Game paused.
we're starting to see a recurring theme here with you, Rootfix, and that is your Overlord placement.
They thought they were collapsed.
Oh, you thought these rocks would... yeah.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately. Usually
No.
what you'll see people do is just wall this off. They won't knock the rocks down, they'll just wall it off. But anyways, getting back to what happened here. Remember, to get that creep connected, if you're going to go Swarm Host, you have to get creep fast. And it's okay to have 2, even 3 queens putting down creep. Once you have your, your injects queens in place, then you can have 2 or 3 queens out here just constantly putting down creep. And just build, especially on a map like this, just build an attack path straight into their base. Swarm Host go down that route. Army backs up the Swarm Host, do the Swarm Host dance. It takes practice. You're not going to do it right your first 10 or 20 tries. I can promise you
I don't
that.
think I've even tried that build yet. I need to.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to do one Terran replay because Bobby
We're
wanted
at
me...
5:30.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, we got time. CK Presage, as he likes to call himself.
See the last stream?
I might do one more of root fixes unless somebody gets replay in really quick. Alright, 34.
I'll have her post that the address in there if they want to try and send it in real quick on chat.
Alright, so Bobby's looking for now. Let me check before I do this. You're actually my friend, so I'm gonna check where you are. Bobby, where are you? Friends.
Alright, so CK saying he'll tell you that he knows what he messed up on. He said he didn't have a proper build order after the Reaper expand.
Okay, so you're right now, you're... Okay.
Very slow on his weapons. Workers didn't get back on gas after the counterattack. And Zealot harass at the 3rd was not handled.
Alright. Wow, you're actually in a hoodie? In Florida? You crazy Canadian?
I wear hoodies in Florida.
You're in a hoodie.
I'm not.
Are you already acclimated? Impressive. Oh.
Alright, Alright.
You
get my
turned
little-
on the auto mine, right?
Great Heart's in a replay about 10-15 minutes ago.
Great Heart. Oh, you did? Okay. Alright, I think we'll be able to get to it.
Great Hearts. I sent one in about 10-15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We'll round out our skill level and going from diamond down to bronze.
That's fine.
Alrighty, so
It's a low bronze, so it'll be a face palm. Alright. Hey, you gotta start somewhere, man.
everything Greatheart does is a face palm, just so you know.
Oh, is that your friend?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm waiting for him to say something in chat now. It's good to be the person on TV sometimes, because then you control people off TV and they can't really do much but post and chat.
This is funny. It's usually the probe winning the fight, not the
The SCV. Probe running around. SCV scouting around. There's a cybernetics core, so it's going to be some sort of one-base pressure, it looks like, coming from the Protoss Phoenix.
Phoenix.
That's the guy's name.
Oh, I was about to say, the cyber core's done. There's no way there's a Stargate already.
Is there a Phoenix? The
But-
blue color.
Alright, Reapers, great. I don't blame you. I like this, chasing the probe down first.
Chasing down that scout probe.
Yeah.
That was good.
Because honestly, against Protoss, you're not going to do anything more than scout with this Reaper anyways. Unless the opponent's bad. So,
Yeah, this is the mothership core just finished up too.
yeah.
Whoop. And no
So-
control.
Protoss
And-
is rushing the warp gate. I mean, that is why he got, he went gateway first.
5 minutes. Still have 120 seconds left on that. It's 2 minutes. He's gonna finish the warp gate at 7. That's kind of a late.
Well, I thought he might have been going for gateway pressure, but he
Uh-huh.
put the robot down, so I'm not
It's
convinced
immortal.
he is now. Nah, not necessarily an immortal. Although,
Eh.
wow.
Reaper's getting low. When I still, that Reaper's regenerating health rapidly out of combat, just kind of like,
This is
I
funny.
don't know, just that ability, them having that ability irks me a little bit for some reason.
And that Stalker is hellbent on killing that Reaper.
And he's not gonna find him.
Yeah,
That
Earth is Stalker. You are faster than most units, but you're not as fast as a Reaper.
Mm-mm. Alright, so he's got his expansion down, bunker at the front,
What is
Protoss gearing up.
Doing?
Observer just finished up, and they'll probably be putting in a Immortal behind that. Or he'll put another Observer behind it. Okay. He really wants to know what's going on.
And he's going for an early gateway pressure, but
This isn't much gateway pressure.
this is not good for Protoss. What are you doing, Protoss?
Is he going for that epic 4-gate? No, he's going for the 1-gate.
No, that's why I'm saying this is a little strange. Because he's not committed to it. He doesn't have the mothership core. He doesn't have high ground vision. You don't have high ground vision, Protoss.
And the Marauders
What are
are
you
just...
doing, buddy?
He thinks all of his units are Phoenixes because it's his name.
Oh, well. And wow, this is hilarious.
The Reaper poker back in. Hi guys.
At 8 minutes. Those are really good scouts.
Yeah.
I mean, from Bobby's point of view, like, Bobby, that's really good scouts. To get a Reaper in there at 8 minutes, that's kind of funny.
Check your what you seen.
Nice, good job.
Yeah, he saw just about everything.
Well, I mean, Bobby was Masters, and I'm sure he can get back up there very quickly.
You can do it, Bobby. Damn it, Bobby.
I'm kind of
base.
confused why you expanded up here, though, versus expanding aggressively, as Terran normally does. Because honestly, when you build a base up here, you're just asking for never-ending run bias. Never ending run bias.
Just needs the time to do it. It was more hidden expand.
Oh, you're trying to do a hidden expand. Okay.
Into Bobby.
Alright, right now, economy's... that's alright.
Take a look at the units.
You need to tighten up your SCV production, if you can, man. Try and get closer to 50 SCVs at 10 minutes. Off a standard 1 Rax FE.
Game resumed.
So Protoss still hasn't, Phoenix still hasn't noticed the expansion yet, so it is hiddenly working. Does see the army moving out though. 2 medevacs.
And here
Walk
comes the Terran push.
Yeah.
But
Wicked fast. Templar.
what's up?
He was missing one here and there.
Oh, with the SCVs, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see how this one goes.
And pulling back from the zealots.
I mean, this is your only chance to really push up the front like this with small bio forces.
And there's the
Storm is done.
photon overcharge.
Ouch. Ouch. Feedback. Ouch. Alright. Let's go back to this one again. Get this done a little bit better.
Well, the zealots were tearing up the front.
Yeah, as
There
they
was,
should.
there was really no way to focus on the Stalkers or the Immortal.
I would say generally
Yes.
what
Pause.
Terran tries to do now, you didn't really have the time for it because this push is, it's not late, but
Game
it's
resumed. Game
it's
paused.
late based on when this storm is going to be done.
Game
But what you would want to normally do is try and bait out this overcharge. If you can't target, well, wow, no, you couldn't have.
paused.
If you can't get him down, bait out the overcharge and then just wait. But
Game paused.
you're running up a ramp.
Also, just it's a little thing, but coming from running up, you ran up from that right around that corner. Like he was saying when we were talking about routes, your angle of attack coming straight at the ramp, so that you would have more of a, front line instead of kind of single filing around the corner of that ramp there.
Trade units.
Okay, so you got greedy with the third. You felt you were in the lead, so you wanted to trade some units. Honestly, I would have rather you trade the units with a drop. If you would just come in, I mean, you don't have preternatural vision. You don't necessarily know that there's a cannon here, but if you would just come in and try to do some damage
Game
and
resumed.
force him to split his army up a little bit, and then see if you could come up the front, because I know you've got the multitasking for it. You're not. You might be in platinum, but I know you can handle that. But alright. So you traded some units, not the end of the world. You sent 2, you got away with your third for now.
Here comes the Archon. Storm finished up, and he's moving to his third.
Yeah, and how are you going to deal with this storm? Do you have a Ghost Academy coming? Yes, you have it. Alright, great.
Nice pick off the observer there. Coming to your third. Nice scan and pick. Here comes the drop. Observer spots it.
So you're going to commit to it anyways, that's fine. I think
Yeah.
he scanned the army, right? He scanned the army and saw that he could get away with this.
Yeah, and then instead of coming back,
This is going to be very effective.
yeah, now he's trying to pull back. He does have mass recall, but he's not using it. Charizard, you can see, and it is super effective.
You target fire the Nexus, yes you did. Yeah, this is great. Very good.
Drop it. Drop it.
Yeah, it's going.
Drop it. There it goes. Yeah, he's saving the energy for photon overcharge, which ended up getting wasted when he should have just recalled
Nice.
protons there.
Excellent. Yeah, this is fine. Now, I think you told me this is a win, so you wanted to know what you did
Game
wrong.
paused.
I would say the biggest thing is probably your macro fell a little bit behind on the SCVs. Like I was saying, 10-minute mark. Shoot for that benchmark of 50 SCVs. If you're not losing SCVs, you know, throughout the first early minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just a little bit better split of your units before you came up the ramp. Just, you know, get them in the proper line. You know how to do this, Bobby. I don't have to explain it to you. And then just come up straight instead of, you know, kind of going around the corner. Other than that, I think you're fine.
Game resumed.
Yeah. Maybe have dropped instead of attacking up the ramp, but I think I'm splitting hairs here.
6 in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Okay, so your
Game
play starts to
paused.
crumble more in the counterattacks.
Game resumed.
Let's see, where are we at right now?
Alright, his...
Well, I can tell you one of the reasons why your play will crumble due to counterattacks here is because, and this is really important as Terran, is you need to
Game
expand in the
paused.
direction that you're going to be attacking. You know, this is Terran 101. If you put your base here and you rally your units here, then you're fine. But if you put your base up here and you're rallying your units down here, you have got a hell of a lot of surface area you have to deal with. Not to mention on this map, obviously, he's going to come running in here.
Game resumed.
I don't know if it was intentional, but you forgot to throw your workers and gas on that third.
Yeah, I saw that. It's fine. He's got enough gas.
Mm.
Let's see. Why didn't
7
Bobby, I
barracks.
would have just picked up here. Yeah, okay, good, you did. Alright.
Should he have added on more barracks by now, too?
Yeah,
I mean, he's
what
at 7 right now.
is your
Paused.
barracks count? No, 7 and how many factories? One not doing anything.
I only see one factory.
If you're going
Yeah.
bio heavy, 10 barracks off 3 base is fine. Especially if you're not powering that factory, you can even get away with 12 barracks.
Yeah.
Game resumed.
And the Ghost Academy is up, so there's some ghosts coming to the field. See if we can get a good EMP out of those Tempests. There's the counterattack. Zealots rush in. Good EMP lands on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there comes the storms, though.
Okay,
Game
Bobby,
paused.
you've got the multitasking to pull this off, so I want you to get better at this. Let me go back to before this attack came.
Resume. Game paused.
Where? Wow, that went way too far.
Game resumed.
I want to get it to right where their units are sitting right here,
Ready for dust off.
from your point of view. Pause.
Game
Okay,
paused.
you saw these units coming way back, actually, because of the scan. And I want to really try and crank this time.
Oh, you're talking about his, where his ghosts are positioned?
Yeah,
Kind of in a bad place?
Yeah.
Resume. Game paused.
Paused. Alright. If I can just go normal
Get me out of this
speed.
mess.
Yeah, he didn't even need the scan. He sees them coming.
Did he?
Yeah, when they were attacking in the middle, he knows they're coming.
Okay, you know they're coming.
Game
Alright.
paused.
You've got a ramp here. Get your units in place. Form the concave ahead of time. Right? You've got plenty of APM to pull this off. You've got plenty of game knowledge and multitasking ability to do this. Get your units properly positioned. You know the attack's coming. It has to happen. If they try and push up here, I don't really know how you're going to defend it, to be honest with you. But if he's going to come up the ramp, which this guy is
Ready
trying
for
to do,
dust off.
because maybe he doesn't realize the third is there yet, get the units properly positioned.
Yep, he does not know about the third yet.
And because of that, because you didn't have your units properly placed, there's no reason for these zealots to even got up as far as they did. You should have easily crushed this. Now, I think he might know about the third, right?
No, he still doesn't know it's there yet. He just knew that there was medevacs coming in behind him.
Ouch. Split, man. Split against the storms. Split against the storms.
Ghost reporting.
SCV's fighting in the front. Is never good. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the Archon's being morphed out there on energy. EMPs onto the
This
Archons.
is stupid. Look at these Archons right in front of
Yeah. There goes one Archon. Here come the SCVs out to fight again. I think the only thing that he, like to say, didn't say he ended up winning. The only thing that saved him here was that damage he did, taking up 2 bases there.
Yeah, it took a little bit of the legs out of this counterattack.
Yep. So if that had not been as successful, he might have been in trouble here. Protoss does now have 4 bases going, though.
Yeah, he does.
Well, yeah, now he does. He just got his main back up again. Here's a counter. Bait,
That was a
baiting
little
the
better
storms.
split.
Yep.
Oop, this one there. Where's your ghost? Where are your ghosts, man?
They're dead.
paused.
Do you have a
They're dead,
separate
Jim.
hotkey for ghosts?
They're all dead.
Alright.
All dead. You can hit me up on Facebook, or actually, I'll just give you my real ID. You can just add real ID.
We'll get back.
Game
Try and
paused.
see if you're using your ghost in a separate hotkey. If not, you need to be.
Game resumed. Game paused.
Yeah, okay. Okay, hotkey your ghost separately. There should be a dedicated spellcaster key so that you can... Yeah. They're on 2 right now.
Yeah, with the entire army.
Game resumed.
I mean, you can still do your spell from your big army, but you need to.
can't, but then you have to
can't
tab to
move.
stim, and you don't want to tab to stim.
Yeah.
Because then you have to stim again for the Marauders. It's really stupid. Yeah, if you're not already, make sure that they're separately hockey. Because you need to be able to come in here and snipe or EMP.
Nice.
Nice
Split.
Yeah, here comes counterattacks. And the only reason this is happening, man... Well, at this point, you would have had a 4th here. Okay, when you have a 4th,
Paused.
for real, just wall this off. Just wall it off. Just put... I don't care if you put barracks there or... Spidey, just wall it off.
And also, the 4th should be where those rocks are. Like you said, moving with Terran, move.
Yeah.
You know, expand toward where you're attacking.
Doing fine. And at this point, this game's pretty much... Yeah, this game's done. Alright.
I mean, we're
Game
Hopefully that was helpful, Bobby. If you have any other questions, go ahead and post them in chat now.
Yep, as we're wrapping up our 3rd episode of the weekly Tampa Esports.
Oh, wait,
chat.
wait. There is one more replay we told the guy we'd get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have enough time. Great heart.
But while we're loading that up, feel free. Oh, let me exit out so you can invite me. But while we're loading that up, feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah, let me switch the broadcast over to us talking.
Damn, was hoping you'd forget me.
He was hoping
Never.
we'd forget him.
Never. Should be good to go for now.
Alright.
All right, so while we're loading that up, like, yeah,
Something reeks in here, by the
got
way.
a defense of the 6 pool.
Oh, that's at Amaretto? Jesus.
So send the replays in of you defending a 6 pool
Oh, that's potent.
or not defending a 6 pool. Either way, not defending a 6 pool would probably be better. That way we can tell you what you should have done.
Any coaching off air or any suggestions for places to actively practice ZBTs?
Do I do any coaching off air? I generally reserve my coaching off air for my team. I'm willing to coach for pay, and that would just go to either towards Tampa Esports or the team, or both.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I don't normally do it, not for free.
And I am no coach. I am a commentator and a gold level player, and I can give you advice and insight from time to time, but I'm not the best coach.
Alright, let's go back to the game view.
Don't forget to invite me to the replay.
I'll consider it.
You consider it?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're really nice to me.
I think I've been exceptional.
Yeah, you have been pretty nice.
Except when I thought that I muted my mic but didn't. And
Oh,
had-
when you yelled at your dad, that was
Yeah.
funny.
You gotta understand, in our family, that's like a hug. Cursing in my family at each other is kind of like a hug, so we do it frequently.
Oh wow, here's a pro tip. Don't burn, what is that, amaretto?
Yes. I'll move it upstairs.
Within 5 feet of yourself. Holy cow.
Why is she burning amaretto?
Well, we got some incense to...
Oh. I thought she was
and the kiwi wasn't that bad, but wow, that amaretto is strong.
Uh,
It's not a bad smell, it's overpowering.
Sprono on fire.
What's up? Alright, we have a Terran versus an unranked.
Going for the pin.
Our Protoss. Terran versus Protoss.
And who are we watching this from?
From Blackbird, which is great. Greatheart is Blackbird.
Alright.
This was a win, but only because it would be less of a face palm.
Okay, he sent a win because it'd be less of a facepalm.
Well, his lost replay that he had for you was against me playing Protoss, so I don't think anybody wanted to see that.
Okay, very first problem here.
Game paused.
In the future, are you building it now?
Game
Finally?
resumed.
No.
Game
When you are,
paused.
after your 9th SCV has come out and you're at 9 supply, go ahead and set the rally point for the command center right there at the ramp. And so when the 10 SCV comes out, he starts walking to the ramp already, and then you just set the rally point back to the mineral patches.
Game resumed.
A little bit of lost SCV there.
Alright, so SCV...
I can already spot the first facepalm.
Oh yeah?
The Protoss's name is Danny. That's just too plain. It's
Oh,
boring.
wow.
Who names their StarCraft account Danny? Come on, it's got to be like Tree Squid 32.
Tree squid.
Okay, so don't pull from the line.
Don't pull the
Game
SCV from the
paused.
line, only if you forgot. Yeah, don't pull from the line.
Game resumed.
Good, I like how you rallied it back when it was done. Although, don't queue up buildings.
Game paused.
I think you did.
I think he queued up that supply depot after the barracks.
Game resumed.
Okay,
paused.
this early in the game,
Game resumed.
it's actually... Is it going to stop you from getting your orbital up quickly? Okay.
Game paused.
Get your orbital at 17. The moment the barracks is down, get your orbital. Do not ever wait. Once the barracks is down, get that orbital. It is always more efficient to get the orbital.
Game resumed.
And don't queue up buildings because you spend it the moment you queue it. Let's see.
Marine came out.
Alright, so you're
Proton.
going factory. You got a shit ton of gas.
Protoss, one base, Cyber Core,
Yeah, what is Protoss doing?
Warp Gate. Starting his Warp Gate like 4 minutes though. Seems
No,
slow.
that's not terrible.
no.
For especially unranked.
Unless it's a Smurf.
Alright, so let's go back to him. I like how you're walled off, so you're gonna stick with one base. You're going mech against Protoss. No, we had this conversation before. It's not the end of the world.
Game paused. Game resumed.
At some point, you need to learn bio. Because it's just better right now. Blizzard is trying to do something about that, but their current proposed fixes are not going to do anything about it.
What's the fixes coming through?
Well, they want to combine the vehicle and air
Mhm.
upgrades, but
Oh, into one.
yeah.